Steve, you were out of the room there. Carl took a phone call from someone.
Okay.
He's found a cellmate.
Right.
Not a soulmate. I think one day they will be cellmates.
Yes.
Because he's just like, he loves everything Carl loves, and he was telling Carl stuff, and Carl's face was lighting up.
Yeah.
He's told him of 2 Russian kids in the circus. They're covered in hair, and their mum tells them off because they're covered in fleas. Carl said, "See, that annoys me again, innit? They do something else." And the bloke went, "Yeah, they should just make money out of being hairy." And Carl went, "Exactly." And he said, "Have you heard of the 3-legged juggler?" And the bloke went, "No, what's that?" He went, "That annoys me as well." Because he thinks they shouldn't have done juggling, they should have done football.
Do you know what I mean, though, Steve?
What do you mean a 3-legged juggler? What are you talking
He's a
about?
famous 3-legged juggler.
Oh, he's mega famous. He's like the Beckham of wherever he's from.
But the other day I was looking in, I don't know, Bizarre magazine or something, right? And there was this fella who, he had no arms. So you saw a picture of him, his job was fixing watches, did it with his feet.
Go on.
Well, it's just, why pick the most hardest job to do when you haven't got any hands? Crush grapes. Or... Do you know what I mean? That annoys me.
Oh, crush grapes! Imagine him being told that he comes into the careers advisory where they go, "Now, what do you want to do, Hargreaves? Make watches? Right, take a look at your arms. Crush grapes, mate. Sorry, you're a grape crusher. Next." Brilliant. Brilliant. I would love you to be a career advisory in some sort of clinic. It'd be brilliant.
I like the fact that it annoys you. Here's a man, he's got no arms, he has learned to fix watches with his feet.
Yeah.
An incredible talent, incredible skill, he's utilising that brilliantly. That's annoying to you. You are angered by it.
Right, I'm only being honest. Now, you be honest, right? Your watch is broke. Who would you go to? You're in a rush. You need it fixing in a rush. Now, you need some fresh wine.
Be honest.
Oh, you're
But
amazing.
what's this thing that you've been talking about, this video?
Freaks, right. It was a thing that was banned for like 50 years. I think it's been taken off again, but I don't know why, if it's just been deleted, right? It's a quest. If anyone out there has got a copy of Freaks on DVD or VHS, can Carl borrow it, please? I mean, I almost want to set up a camera to see him watching it. It's absolutely real. They use people in the circus of the time. I think it's the 20s or 30s of the Depression. And there's people, there's coneheads, there's a bearded lady, all genuine. There's a bloke they call the human slug who's got no arms and no legs, Carl. And he's just there, and he rolls a cigarette and lights it with his mouth.
I think I've seen his brother, who isn't called the human slug, is called the pillow.
Right. How does he make a living?
He,
Does anyone want to meet Carl for money? Do you know what I mean? Like
the annoying thing was, right, there was a picture of him, I was going to put it on
I think I've seen his brother.
on our website, we put things up like this, right? If you go to Ricky.Gervais at xfn.co.uk /
What? You've put things like that on my website? It's nothing to do with me. I want people to know that that website is not kept or looked at by me. So, what have you put on there?
There's a fella on there who's known as the pillow. And he's, you see, I get a bit worried with things like this, because we're not sort of having a go or anything, it's just things that
Fascinate
me.
you.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a guy, it might be the same sort of thing. What's your one
I
called?
bet you used to stare at people with goiters, didn't you, when you were little? In Tesco's.
Well, just go to xfm.co.uk / Ricky, it is.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen on, like, a human face?
You know what it is, and
What
I
is
don't want
it?
to talk about it.
I can't remember. Have you
No.
told me?
Yeah.
What is it?
But go,
It's not
go
the
to,
elephant lady
Go
that
to
used
the...
to-
Yeah.
Is it the elephant lady? You talked about that, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it again. Go to the website and see the human pillow.
Why is he a human pillow?
That's what annoyed me. I thought it was more of a draft excluder.
Things are flying here at XFM. People have called in. There is a video of Freaks on the way. Carl's going to see that within the week. That's exciting. That is exciting for me. Do you know what I mean? About our education of Carl. We started off trying to teach him about science and history, and now we just find that he likes pictures of hairy Chinese kids and
Who
women.
doesn't?
Who doesn't? No, true. You've got a theory about pictures of freaks, haven't you?
You see, you always bring things up that I don't want to talk about, because I'm really worried that people, if you've just tuned in for the first time, it's the first time you hear it, and we're talking about hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Talking about the human worm.
Carl, listen. People don't think that you're taking the piss out of those people. They lump you in with them. Do you know what I mean? They think that you're a freak of nature. So you can say anything you want. Do you know what I mean? Because it's honest, it's from the heart, it's genuine. So, don't worry about that.
Yeah, but Suzanne was saying last night that I've got a heart of stone, or whatever it is.
Why?
Because I wasn't crying at Comic Relief. And all I always used to say to her, get out Elephant Man, let me watch that for 30 minutes, I'll be crying my heart out.
Why? Why do you care about that but not...
Because it's... That is more real, isn't it, right? Think of John Merrick.
Sorry. What, the film starring John Hurt is more real than footage of starving people in Africa?
No, but what I'm saying is, think about... See, this is why I didn't want to bring it up, because people are going to just say...
Well, you're allowed to cry at what you like. People can't have you for not crying at someone and crying at someone else.
Imagine that, like, if you've seen the film, you know, his head's all, you know, messed up and that.
Yeah.
He's getting picked on all the time.
Yeah. By Michael Elphick, I remember.
Yeah.
It's just really, really sad. Whereas, you know, we're trying to help out.
But you give him a bun
people.
and he forgets it.
Do you know what I mean, though?
He never forgets, Rick.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Oh God.
We're giving away stuff again.
Yeah.
Tell
me your theory about freaks who have their picture taken.
No, I'd leave it.
No, can I tell
we'll
you?
do it next week then.
Can I tell you what this is?
Go on quickly, what is it?
Right, when he sees a little picture, like in his books he's got, he carries round those things, right? And there's like a fella with a little head with some like able-bodied people. He goes, the only reason, he must know the only reason they got to take that picture, right, was so they could show their mates, say, look at me, the little fella with a little head. That's his theory.
Yeah. For every picture of a freak, they're being...
Steve, let me describe the picture to you. This little fella with a little head.
Right.
Playing on the piano.
I've seen it.
All his family stood around and mates and that. When have you ever seen a picture of someone playing the piano and everybody wants to be in on it?
Right.
Doesn't happen.
Maybe it was one of those kind of Christmas cards they sent out to everyone.
It wasn't. You could see one of them was like in a rush to go away. He was probably planned to go out, and he was like, "But they were taking a picture." It's I'll be in it then before I go out, and it was all. It's out of order.
Yeah.
If you say, do you know the one?
I do know the one you mean. Yeah.
There you go,
What about the one in the when you went down to Cornwall in that little
We'll
pub?
talk about that next week.
What you want to get on, do you?
Yeah.
Yes,
We've
Dave.
also got a new feature, Cheeky Freak of the Week. We haven't done Cheeky Freak of the Week.
New feature, isn't it?
That's a new feature.
Cheeky Freak of the Week. Let's do Cheeky Freak of the Week. What is the cheekiest freak of the week? So I'm just going to apologise now. I've just had freaks. Sorry to freaks. Okay, right, go ahead.
Well, I say it's a new feature, but we've sort of touched on it in the past with
We always talk about freaks.
Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah.
We've had the Pillow Man.
Yeah. Oh, you called a draft excluder.
Just make a note of that, would you, Rick? On the list?
People without arms and legs.
But at least, you see, the Pillow Man, what do you picture? Because I was saying to Ricky in the week, right, I'm a great fan of the Elephant Man.
That's his. You know, that's his favourite freak.
Of
the
all
Elephant
the
Man.
freaks, that's
Do you know why he said? Do you know why he said? He said because you get what you pay for. When someone says the Elephant Man, you get what it says on the tin. Right. You know you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Do you imagine, Steve, if you had a mate and you said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to go see my mate. And you go, which mate? And he said, the Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Straight away, you haven't even met him, but you know what he's going to look like.
Yes.
Right? That's what I like about that. Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Pillow Man.
Yeah.
Not so good.
What does that mean?
It could be one of those big fat things on that show, couldn't it? A big pillow, like a.
Yeah.
You know, they had that big thing about the fat people in feeders. They were getting up to like 60 stone and that big one. And there's a thing called fat admirers that just fancy fat women, right? And
You writing that down?
yeah, sorry, and they had blow up versions. It looked like a bouncy castle.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. You'd be knackered when you blew that up.
Yeah,
You just wouldn't want to go and forget it.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That's
I
people being cruel as well, isn't it? Because after watching the programme on Channel 4 about the fat people and fellas who like them and stuff, there was a story on one of the news websites about some fella in Germany, right? He was a big fella, must have been about 50 stone, and he fell over, right? And I think he hurt his ankle or something. And
Timber.
they sent firemen instead of like an ambulance.
Yeah.
So straight away they're having a bit of a laugh.
They're not. No, they've got winching gear.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't have winching gear. They had to use the hose pipes
What?
to carry him out. I think it was Ananova, that news website. They had to use the hose pipes, so they made like a bed using the hose pipes
Oh yeah.
and had to carry him out on that. And then they had to sort of get him into a special truck, they said, and do the same when they got to the hospital. I mean, that's a bit...
That's mad, isn't it?
They shouldn't do that.
Although, Carl, I'm loving that story. I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to fit in Cheeky Freak of the Week.
What's the
which
Cheeky
is one
Freak
you've
of the week?
nominated?
Alright, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Something I found on the net.
Yeah.
A fella who had 27 toes and fingers.
In a jar.
No, still on him. And proper ones as well, not like little stumps and that. Proper, fully formed fingers. He
Was
had
it-
like...
Was he a pianist? Close-up magician.
I don't know what he did. He just said that he was...
Cat's cradle professional.
Did he ever work on finger bobs?
He was saying in the week.
For the crowd scenes.
I'm now going to do Braveheart. He said about the Elephant Man. He said, I want to do a thing right with freaks, where it's good and bad. He went, what did you said? The pro about him is
What about the fella with loads of fingers, or...?
no, the Elephant Man.
Well,
He said the bad thing is he stretches his jumpers.
When he puts them on. Yeah. And what's the good thing?
sort of... He never gets up and goes, oh, my hair's a bit of a mess today.
No. He's always having another bad face day.
I'd like to complain about this head and shoulders. Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So that's freaky.
Didn't you see an elephant woman in Manchester?
Yeah, leave that.
What do you mean, leave it?
No, because it is sad.
I know it's sad, but I mean, I don't know what my next sentence is.
No, people always
That
think...
should be the end.
Did
I don't need
it?
to say anymore, people will know what she looks like. It's a good name for her.
Did she like buns? Oh dear.
It was when it's when my dad was a taxi driver and I used to sit in the front,
Yeah.
and she used to get a lot of taxis.
Yeah.
And,
And he only charged you half price, didn't he? He was a good guy.
well, the bad thing is as well with people like that, you don't want to offend them because they never forget.
Oh, go!
But,
Go, Pilkington!
I was sat in the front of the cab and my dad goes, right, we're going to go and pick the, I can't even tell you the name. These guys, just evil.
What do you
Right.
mean?
No, leave it. So she's got.
No!
No,
Carl!
please.
Tell me what he said!
No.
You've already stitched him up with Stephen things from Little Welsh
I don't
fellas.
care.
Right, what did he call her?
Steve, back
No!
me up on this. I really
Carl,
don't want
to be
to.
fair, our opinion of him is already pretty low.
Look, tell me what he said.
No, it's not. I'm scared of what my dad gets. It's the person who's got. The
She's
thing wrong
not
with him.
listening, is she?
Well, her headphones wouldn't fit on her head.
Tell me what he called her.
I don't want to.
Tell me what he called her, Carl. I'm getting angry, man. Tell me what he called her.
No, we'll leave that. Honestly,
Tell me what he...
It doesn't matter.
Tell me what he called her. Carl, just... I'm gonna
Steve.
go...
Seriously, I want to know what he called her.
Right, you're not gonna stop this show. We're not doing the next show until you tell me what he called her.
What did your father call the elephant head woman?
Tell me.
Spudhead.
How old were you?
I don't know, about 9.
So did you expect to see a potato with a dress?
He did sort of, again, it's a good name. Do you know what I mean? I had an idea of what it was going to be about, and he said, do you want to stay in the car, I'll take you home, because you
Spudheads, you got lovely eyes.
can't.
Carl just remembered, we've got Cheeky Freak of the Week to fit in.
Cheeky
I don't know
Freak
what
of
to
the
do. What's your Cheeky Freak of the Week, quickly? Just throw that away.
Right, well, it's just like, we look at cheeky freaks.
Is this show offensive in any way to some people, do you think?
Ding dong.
Got any buns? Oh, it's the Elephant Man. Go on.
Right, well, it's a bit of a problem for you, this one, Steve, right? I'm chucking it forward to you. Remember the Cheeky Freak of the Week that we were talking about? That illness where people age quicker?
The 5-year-old girl that was older than her mum, and he said to you, what if you ran off like you wouldn't serve her fags and beer, and you went no, he went why not, and you went because it's a 5-year-old, right? He went oh she's got enough problems, give her some fags. You remember that, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So another dilemma for you, right? Picture this: you're running a restaurant, right? Door goes, right? Few people, most of them look normal. You notice the woman at the back, crawling on all fours. Top half is woman, right? This is real. This isn't like a comic or anything. This is on, on the internet.
I've seen it. They're called dog people, and her legs just come straight down. They're like little, just with legs at the back, and so they walk on all fours because it's easier.
Dog people, right?
Yeah. Not dog people. They're human beings with deformed back legs, so they walk. It's easier for them to get around like that because they can't stand up because they can't stabilise, and also it comes straight out of their hips. Right.
So you're running a restaurant. It's a busy night. You haven't really got time for any hassle. She comes in. Would you serve her?
The premise being what? That he doesn't serve dogs?
Because the restaurants don't allow animals in.
Right.
So it's a dilemma.
It's not a dilemma. She's not a dog. She's a human being.
Yeah,
with
I put a plate of meatballs on the floor, and she tucks in. And a little glass of, a little bowl of wine next to it.
He turns round, there's the woman older than...
Get away from that plant!
Have we got a cheeky freak of the week?
Do you want one?
Yeah.
I think we should have a jingle for this.
Okay, I've got a jingle. It's very similar to chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, cheeky freak of the week. You've spotted a freak this week?
This is where somewhat, I think, offensively, you pick on someone who's not like other people and say it's your favourite freak of that week. Yeah, I remember we had the woman whose legs looked like the hind legs of a dog. We've had the little fella with the aging disease with the little head playing the piano. That was your favourite. I think that's your probably freak of the year, isn't it?
It's a pretty good one.
So what's this? Is it a man with a horrendous injury, or is it a congenital birth defect, or what?
Yeah, but you put it like that, and now it sounds like I'm being tight. Sounds like I'm being out of order. But I'm just giving him a mention.
Just giving him a big shout out.
Right. There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so...
So this is just a bonus?
This is a bonus freak.
Tease, yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
This is a free freak, right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you gonna get? Some succulent meat.
I like the idea that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Look at his hands.
What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right. Yeah.
Have you thought about a nickname?
Not really. No. Have you? No.
Have you looked at his hands?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about that because
do you know they look a little bit like lobsters?
Well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's like we
Can I suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar.
Pinchy.
Go on then. We're gonna see. This is what the sort of feature you come up with, Carl.
So Lobster Man.
There's probably people listening now with lobster feet,
right.
Lobster hands.
So
Squid Boy.
So Lobster Man. What does Lobster Man do? Does he fight crime?
Not that much.
Okay.
Apparently he got into a bit of trouble. He was in a restaurant, and this was years ago, by the way.
And someone picked him to eat him.
No, so apparently the waiter said, "Oh, you shouldn't be sat here. You should be in my pan," or something.
Oh dear.
And they had a fight, got out of hand.
Yeah.
Got out of claw.
And yeah. So that was.
What do you mean they had a fight? What did he
do?
A waiter took the mickey out of someone with.
No.
No, can I just make clear? I'm assuming his hands look a bit like those of a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fused, so it's just like two big fingers. They're fused, I assume, probably in the womb, and they're just like, instead of like having 5 digits, they're fused, and But he can pick stuff up, can't he?
Yeah.
What does he pick up? He mainly eats crabs and jellyfish, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was having a fight with the waiter. He snipped off his nose.
Right, so anyway,
He just held on to the waiter's bib.
Yeah,
And the
exactly,
waiter was
yeah.
screaming, "Go and get him off me."
Yeah.
So anyway,
does he eat other lobsters? Do you think he would eat lobster? Or is it kind of... would he feel bad about eating lobster?
Right.
the little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
The little freak of the week.
Yeah.
Cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad.
Okay.
Right. Happened back in...
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
Alright, yeah. This Siamese twins. Happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing alright for himself. He used to go on like those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. Stop going to him.
Alright then. Alright. They did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff, people coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing alright for himself,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with two heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There's
Two people, they're conjoined.
No, but it depends, doesn't it? The one that I shown you in that book that time was a fellow with two heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with two heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, "Doesn't it look like Norman Cook?"
Yeah.
It's not two heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No!
No, it's
They're two people. They're two people. Conjoined twins. Yeah. Right, so these...
It's just that they just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing alright, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with two heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that cheeky freak of the week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how
Why wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Karl Pilkington, you are a genius.
Like I say, it's been a struggle. We'll do that. We'll do cheeky freak of the week. Do you want to?
Oh, definitely. Should we do cheeky freak
we
of the
have
week?
cheeky freak of the
I
week?
can't wait. I'll always do these. I'd start off with these.
Alright, well, let's have the jingle for cheeky freak of the week.
Oh no.
Do you remember it?
No.
I remember it.
Oh. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant.
Something like that.
I want someone because that was slightly half-hearted.
Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Excellent.
Right. This we're going back again.
Yeah, 17th century.
Well, it was 1829, right?
Oh, I'm impressed.
Now the problem is with cheeky freak of the week.
Not so much the week, is it? If you're going back to 1829.
Well,
Not even of the century. You haven't even done cheeky freak of the century.
there's
What's the problem with cheeky freak of the week?
just because.
Other than the sort of moral implications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last week it was a fellow with two heads.
Yeah.
We've done Siamese twins. It's Siamese twins again.
Oh,
No, it was Siamese
again.
twins. It wasn't a fellow with two heads last week. It was Siamese twins. Conjoined twins, sorry. They're two different people. This is what I'm telling you.
But this is the problem. They're going to crop up quite a lot just because they've got double the chance. Alright?
Oh, please don't write in and complain. He knows not what he does. You understand, don't you? Carl will actually feature one day in this section.
Yeah.
So, right, go on,
Well,
Carl.
we're going back to 1829.
Yeah.
All the way back there to
This is a
1829.
retro conjoined twin link.
A couple of guys set up a business. They were called Chang and Ang.
Oh, they're the first. That's why they're called Siamese twins, because they wasn't that what it was based on? Those two, Chang and Ang.
Was it?
The original, yeah. That's why they're called Siamese twins. 'Cause I think they were Siamese.
So these are the first ones.
Well, not the first ones, but they're the
First
ones
one.
that got to fame, I think, and why people started calling them. People started calling them conjoined twins, Siamese twins. I think I'm right there.
Anyway.
Good. Well, the sort of set up business, sort of going round the US
Well, both of them.
and Europe, yeah.
Yeah.
And what they used to do, people were amazed by it anyway. But
Yeah.
people wanted to know how they get through life doing certain things that you think about when you think about Siamese twins. You think about you know, how do you get through a day like that?
Yeah.
And the thing that cropped up the most with people was how they take a bath. So they used to go on tour around the US and Europe and sit in a bath, have a wash and that. And
did they ever wash each other by mistake? They go, oh, that ends there, like those things in supermarkets. They put one of those down. We go, oh.
What do you mean?
Put that there.
What do you mean?
You know the things on the conveyor belt, the little
dividers.
Yeah.
They wind me up, those dividers. Sorry, I was a complete tangent, but for some reason, it's my own psychosis, but I get so annoyed if I'm in a supermarket, I've got my shopping, I'm just about to get served, and you can always see there are certain people who stand behind you getting edgy, itchy, worried that I'm not going to put the divider down to separate my shopping from theirs. It's like they're terrified that I'm somehow going to deliberately pay for their shopping.
Sneaking their onion.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get an onion, I'll have that. And it's just, but what annoys me is it's not so much that, obviously it's a practical thing, it's the fact that they get a little bit edgy. You can actually see, certainly kind of, dare I say it, certain breed of woman and a certain breed of fella will just get a little bit itchy, a little bit edgy, and they just look at you, can just see them sweating, especially if they can't reach.
I just lean over and do it myself.
Well, I know, but the thing is that it's like they almost feel that they ought to wait for me to do it, as though somehow it's my obligation. And it just for some reason, I know it's ludicrous, but it really annoys me. And I actually deliberately don't put the divider down just to see them sweat.
I like the way that they're actually quite well made. There's some that are brass with like a felt bottom. Yeah. Like you really care. Like a twig would do, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I just leave a slight gap. And then when it gets to when the woman's putting it through the till or the guy, I just say, that's my stuff.
Do you ever look at other people shopping and go, oh, I should have got that?
Often, yeah.
That's annoying.
I'll tell you what it is, it's the same thing, and again, it's my psychosis. When if you're on a bus or a train, and we're pulling into the stop, but there's a good, kind of 35 seconds before we're actually going to come to a halt, they leap up, and they're straight by the door.
Yeah.
But it's this fear that they're going to miss out. Oh my god, what if I fell over now and broke my ankle? I'd never get out.
To be fair, I've never had that commuter's worry. I've never commuted, but every second counts, doesn't it? Because you miss a train, it can make a difference of half an hour. So that's why commuters literally run to get their connections.
But the thing is that with a bus, there's often there'll be people who are sat right next to the exit. Will get up and stand up for a while, waiting to get out. It just, again, I'm not saying it's not. It makes perfect sense to them. It's my psychosis.
They're going to be mowed down in the streets.
They will just be a few.
You're going to be in a lovely Chrysler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I will be going straight through a branch of Waitrose.
Yeah.
Taking people out in the.
So we do not condone going through Waitrose in a Chrysler.
In a car.
Now, Changanang, they're in the bath. They're washing their own bits. They got one of those dividers, right? They go, well, that's definitely yours. I marked mine. That's definitely mine.
What?
Don't wash that, Chang. I wouldn't hang. I wouldn't wash that. Right? So what are they doing? They're in the bath. Carry on with the story.
That's about it, really. I mean, that's the fact that people...
So, two little Oriental fellas, joined in the hip, had a bath.
No.
That's your story.
No, they didn't have a bath. They must have done some sort of research, right?
Who?
Changanang, right? And they said, well, what do people want to see?
Isn't that a Bay City Rollers song?
But it's an idea that people have queued up, they've paid their money, they're in a tent, they're well, I hear they're going to have a bath, they're going to have a bath. Two Siamese people have a bath. How would they possibly do it? Well, I've heard they get into a bath.
But that's
I don't know
they
what's
wanted to see
exciting.
them nude and where the join was.
No.
More than how do you get in the bath?
I don't know. They just that's what they picked. They said what would be good to see. What do you want to see them do?
Having a bath.
How would you get into trousers? Was there
Exactly. This is all part of it, isn't it? That's why they picked having a bath.
This is all part of it. Well, then watch them get dressed afterwards.
Yeah.
Who was the best out of Changanang? Who was your favourite?
They both look the same, to be honest.
There's a surprise! One was a short ginger woman. Oh, dear.
Is there anything, what would be better than having a bath for you when you're seeing them? What would sort of make you go, oh, I wonder...
One of them pulling and the other one going home alone.
Yeah.
I go, look, she's definitely up for it. I'm taking her home and go, oh, what am I going to do? Can I watch? Definitely not. Definitely not. Look, you go to bed. I want to wine and dine her.
But if he's got back to their place and they're going at it hammer and tongs, but it's only one of them.
No, hammer and tongs were their cousins.
Right.
They lived miles away.
Yeah. if one of them gets knackered, can the other one take over?
God! I think we play a record.
That annoys me.
What?
That sort of being at it all night.
What do you mean?
Let's put a song and I'll come back.
What do you mean? The controversial cheeky freak of the week, where Karl finds a human being with some sort of congenital or imposed deformity, or So and we talk about that in a wry way. Do you think that's big and clever?
No, but that's just it. It's never about taking the mickey out of someone, right? It's to make you think.
I'll tell you what isn't big and clever.
How lucky you are.
A dwarf with learning difficulties.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
we'll explain it to you. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. He Wants You.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, Karl, off you go.
Well, we're not going to do Freak of the Week here,
okay? Right?
Because we've done quite a bit of that in the last 20 minutes.
We've
right?
OD'd on freaks, you think?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll just shift it a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't, like I keep saying, don't want people to be thinking we're sort of taking the mick out of anyone.
No.
Right? Because we're not about that. I feel that, like, I can do a little bit of it because I work with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It gives me that right.
It's like a care worker. Yeah, I understand.
Well, it's like that thing of you can't be homophobic because I've got a couple of gay mates and stuff.
Sure.
I think it sort of gives me that edge.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're not freakophobic because you work with Steve?
No, that's right, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay,
well, by that token, I should be able to sort of slag off, the mentally ill.
What do you mean?
At least mentally handicapped.
Now, there's a term you don't hear very often. In 2003, there was the mentally handicapped.
The mentally handicapped, isn't that what it was?
I don't know where to start.
But
I'd like to apologise for the Lady Diana stuff, the term mentally handicapped, and any inadvertent racism that we may have stumbled over.
What's the actual term then? Is it retarded?
Right, are we having Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Do you want to do it?
What time have you got to shoot off?
Could do with shooting off sort of soonish.
Okay.
To be honest.
This is not radio. Have you ever heard that on a radio show? Chris Tarrant going, I got a shoot off right now. I couldn't get a later train.
I know! Why didn't you get a later train? There isn't a later train. So I couldn't get to Cornwall tonight if I had to. If I had to finish this show, I couldn't possibly get to Cornwall.
Rubbish. Of course there's a later train.
Oh, I've booked it now anyway.
Right, well that's the point, isn't it? Yeah, you're not thought
whatever. I don't think the show's lost anything. I think we've still had the, Freak of the Week's coming up now.
Oh, cheeky Freak of the Week.
Right, well, we've had some interesting things we've been looking at. This week, it's about the strangest couple that ever got married.
and we've had 2 sets of chimps, so it's stranger than that. Oh, it's not Dale Winton and Nell McAndrew, is it?
It's not your parents, is it?
Well, we're going back again to about, I think this is about
something like that.
1940.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Strangest couple, a fella, right? He had skin of a lizard.
He had the skin of a lizard, okay.
And the woman who he married.
Which he used as a condom.
The woman who he married.
Yeah.
Airiest woman ever.
Right.
And that was their act. They used to tour the world, and they'd say, it's like, couple who've met, they're having a great life. Let's get them out on stage, here they are. And they'd
what do you mean he had a skin of a lizard, first of all?
That's what it said. He had some sort of some illness.
So he was called Lizard Man, and you like that because it was good description.
I thought that's good.
I'm here. Hello. We've booked a table for 2. Who are you meeting? I'm meeting Lizard Man. Oh, he's over there.
Yeah.
You know he is, right?
Yeah.
I'm meeting the hairiest woman in the world. She's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did they do for their act?
Now bear in mind that we had some Siamese twins last week, and their act was having a bath.
yeah.
So I hope it's an improvement on that.
What did Lizard Man? He came out and ate some flies, did he?
I don't really know. I just think they stood there on that.
Yeah, when you read this and it goes the most interesting fact ever, Lizard Man, and you go, that's enough. That's enough. I can extrapolate from that.
But straight away I start thinking. I'm thinking, right. I wonder if they got the wedding photos. Right? And then, like it said that they had a kid.
Oh, what would that be like?
Exactly,
It'd
that's
be
what I
like
was
an
thinking.
ostrich, wouldn't it? It would sort of like...
That's what I was thinking.
What did you think it would come out like, the baby?
I didn't think what that looked like, I just was thinking, oh, parents' evening. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want them coming up to the school, would you?
So,
Well, that's
so
the
little
problem.
Johnny, who starts off relatively normal, he's quite good at, he's good at nature,
Yeah.
isn't he? And his mum and dad come into the room and they'd be looking round, wouldn't they?
Well, it's always like that thing at school when, like, you find out your mate's mum and dad are really old.
Right,
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
When you go, your gran and granddad bought you?
Yeah.
Your mum and dad.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
It is weird.
What's that we're talking about? He calls him mum. What was that? Oh, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
like-
that's always strange.
I just-
If you had Godzilla and King Kong as your parents,
Yeah.
and it was
And they're
like you
always
say,
fighting.
they're always fighting, and like you say, if you're in a school play or something, you wouldn't tell them, would you? You wouldn't want them coming out with a video camera.
He didn't tell his parents he was in the... When we were,
Well, exactly.
You did Little Donkey and you didn't tell your dad, did you? And he came along and videoed it.
Yeah.
Was
kept
that...
kept it quiet, don't want them to know anything.
But you didn't... What was it was meant to be playing? You had a little drum, didn't you?
Yeah, I was doing, I had a little drum, I think I was meant to be playing We Three Kings,
Yeah.
but, he started doing Little Donkey and I thought I can add a touch to this.
Sure, you improvised.
Started playing along
It was like the
with
first
yeah.
remix, wasn't it?
It went down well. But yeah, that's all I was thinking with, the Freak of the Week this week. That's what I'm saying about Freak of the Week. It's to get people thinking, right? Thinking how lucky they are that they don't have to
Comb their face. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Freak of the Week is to let people know how lucky they are.
just.
What about the little freak you're talking about? What are they thinking? They're going, oh, he's talking about me. I'm a little hairy lizard man on a stick.
Pop in, give us a call. That's what I'd like to do on a TV programme. That's what I want to do. I want to go and, like, meet these people and say, right, let's just go shopping, we'll film what your normal day's like.
Yeah.
Let's pop out. Nip into Sainsbury's or whatever.
Yeah.
Buy a comb. for her,
Park
whatever.
right up close to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you're saying is you just want to get a little message out there, which is that there's always someone worse off than you.
Well, there's proof of that in this room. You know what I mean?
I just think it's a shambles. I've asked for Cheeky Freak of the Week, and it appears that Carl's not ready. He's not prepared.
No, I can sort of remember it. It's just that I like to have all the information.
Contempt for
But
the
you've just
listener.
had you've just had a whole bunch of adverts and placebo in order to get you ready.
We're chatting, we're having a chat and that.
Right, do you want to sort yourself out in future?
Yeah, someone, that's what we were chatting about. Someone emailed in about they watched the £200 tumour thing, and, when it was removed, it was carried away in a wheelbarrow, right? Carl said, what, even when she had it removed, she still carried it round in a wheelbarrow? And he went, I thought it's sort of like she'd become attached to it. You definitely are my favourite thing in the world. It's great. Look at the way he's looking back.
But I think they're all the same. The people, I mean, I have had more emails about people saying I watched the £200 tumour
And I
documentary
shaved me arse.
than anything else.
I know.
When we ask questions
we come
about
up with science,
Shakespeare,
we talk, yeah.
Nothing,
We talk
nothing,
high
silence.
concept, we talk about political issues.
one person emailed in, they said, I tuned into the £200 tumour documentary, it looked disgusting, I couldn't watch for long. What were you expecting?
Yeah.
That it might sing and dance? Do a little show for you?
Oh,
Anyway,
these,
so what's the
these are
situa-
really your listeners, Carl, now. I think you know what I mean? You sort of, you find your niche, you attract your... I think me and Steve are pretty much just here.
I think the people that we had in the early days, Rick, they've long since abandoned us. They jumped ship.
They've got jobs.
Yeah.
They've got jobs. They're out now. They've been released.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're getting their life back together.
Carl,
Come
so
on,
what's the
Carl.
situation with Cheeky Freak?
I've got like a couple of bits. Like I say, I haven't got the in-depth stuff that I normally...
Oh no, because usually it's it's
Heavily
pretty
researched.
scientific. Exactly, yeah. Do the jingle. We've come up with a new one, haven't we?
The Freak! Say chic.
Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Right, well, couple of bits. I don't know which one to use as the main feature for this week.
It's that good, is it?
Well, there's been another one born.
What?
Little kid.
You go on.
4 eyes.
Insult? Just a guy who wears glasses, come on.
4 eyes, 2 noses, 2 mouths. That's weird, isn't it?
This bloke, did he also have 2 heads, 2 bodies? Sort of born sort of slightly separately?
He wasn't stood next to a mirror.
No, it's weird, that, isn't it?
That's all you've got, is it?
I love that. That's weird. That. Imagine if the doctor said that. Well, Mrs. Parks, kid's got 4 eyes and 2 noses. Weird, isn't it? Any clues? Any clues?
So that's it.
That's it.
That's
So
all the
one.
information
Well, I'll
you've
tell you
got.
what,
No, but
that
again-
shouldn't be the main one. Okay,
No,
I've answered
but
your
like I
question.
say, what's the idea of this feature? What do I say all the time?
Dunno.
I always say, think about it. Think about what that would be like.
Okay.
What? Giving birth to him? It's,
No. Being, I think it's a girl. Being like her. 2 mouths. 4 eyes. What would that be like? Mad, innit?
I don't know what this feature is.
I don't know, do I? Is there another one? Is that, you said,
I mean, I
2.
hope everyone took the opportunity there during that silence to just think about what it would be like. I know I was.
What?
Could she talk with a mouthful?
What?
Is that allowed?
Because she's got 2 mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be alright in her house?
She'd be eating
Yeah,
one,
she could
something
talk with one mouth and eat with the other, I
Right, well
suppose.
listen, the main one, right, you've thought about that, that's good. The main cheeky freak of the week, I haven't got all the details. Smallest person ever. Right? How big would you say that is?
Carl is now sort of like holding his hands up like a fisherman, long ways. That's about 1 foot.
Right. Smallest man in the world. I printed the thing off and I can't find it. There was a little picture of him. Right? The odd thing was,
But why have you asked me how, did it say, or was it a picture of him?
I didn't really read it.
Of course you
Oh,
didn't.
for
Of course you didn't.
Jesus.
I just saw it and thought, oh, that's
What,
that,
you
that's
straight away
sorted.
assumed it was natural size?
It was that big.
But what do you mean it was that big?
Little fella, like that.
But why are you doing that? What? It was a page with a little fella. How do you know that was natural size?
No, it was, because it said it's world's smallest man. And the funny thing is, I've read the first line, I always read the first line, it said, world's
Well
smallest
done,
man.
well done.
The weird thing is, he got an head like a light bulb. The shape of it, apparently. I don't know if that's got anything to do with his shape and size.
Oh, God.
That big.
His name's Mr. Watts.
And the annoying thing is, what got me is, if you're that big,
Yeah.
right, don't have your picture taken next to a fruit bowl.
Why was he having his photo taken next to a fruit bowl?
Don't know. Whoever the photographer was, obviously having a bit of a laugh
Yeah.
at his expense. Because you would just stand in the middle of nowhere, you'd look normal and that, but he was stood there, just leaning on an apple.
Leaning on an apple?
What is this? In what world do you inhabit?
No, this was on the internet. And I printed it
Leaning
off.
on an apple? Was it Tom Thumb? What is this? Are you sure it wasn't some sort of sci-fi show they're advertising?
No, it was
Leaning on it. Can you just lean on the apple? Just lean on the apple there. Do me a favour, will you stand next to my chihuahua? You're not taking the piss, are you? No, not at all, no. Would you mind leaning on this matchbox?
Yeah.
Leaning on an apple. And that's what, so it just said he's the world's smallest man leaning on an apple.
smallest man, said about his head being like a light bulb, I don't know what that meant. And I just thought, right, that'll do, that's that sorted, cheeky freak of the week done. I think that was on like Monday. Right? I've found that, I thought that's done. Printed it off, forgot to get it off the photocopier. Someone's nicked it.
Play a record.
That you got to...
You know, it's just, Steve.
No, can I just say
there's no
now, Carl,
point.
please,
There's no
if I
point.
say, let's have Cheeky Freak of the Week, and you haven't done your research, you haven't got the information, just tell us you can't do it. But don't lead us on.
Don't say things
in
like
this
on
charade.
radio, hold your hand up to me and go, how tall is that?
It's nothing.
That's
This is
radio.
nothing.
It's nothing. I think it was that big because he was leaning on an apple.
It's not enough information.
But imagine Trevor McDonald coming on, going, some news, some stuff, how big's that? How big do you think that is?
Yeah.
Because there was a fella, coming up after Chris Tarrant. Play a record.
I'm angry. I'm actually angry.
What could you, if I said, right, quick, you've got to come up with top 5 things, what would it be?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I call one of them up and said, good news, you're at number 1, because you've got 4 legs or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, then, this is the exclusive Ricky Gervais guide to Shortlist magazine, Karl Pilkington Top 5 Freaks, in at number 5.
So you've got to work backwards, haven't you? I've got to know what my number 1 is.
I think you
before
do
say
work
number 5.
backwards.
Probably, Something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And he, what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle in it.
What are you talking about? Where is the hole?
I bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know, it's just what he got nicknamed. Because he had this hole, doctors were like, there's nothing we can do, can't fill it. He thought, what can I do with it? And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle.
Right.
So, hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder here. Stuck a candle in it, and he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
Didn't he have, like, wax dripping on his head?
No, because it all went into the hole. So in
What?
a way, it was filled in. By the
What
end
do you
of the
mean?
day-
It wasn't a hole, though, it was a dip, surely.
No, a big hole.
Yeah, but not a hole through the skull with wax dripping on the brain.
No, just a really big hole in his head, but it had skin.
Like a golf hole.
Yeah, I suppose a golf hole's a good way of looking at
Perfect
it.
for a candle, basically. And
Yeah.
then the drippage went
Went into the hole.
Yeah.
Candle sort of stood up straight.
Yeah,
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
that's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'll have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
He's a lighthouse man. What did you see? What
Sorry, mate, yeah, I
better
forgot
description
about
do you
that.
need than the lighthouse man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about Pig-faced Woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Now, pig-faced woman of Manchester Square, is that someone you knew growing up?
No, it's a square in London,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's just this woman who had a face like a pig, and the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what that's what
Was
I've
this
heard.
someone?
Yes.
Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
that you
no,
just read
this
about?
is going back.
This is years ago.
This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus.
yeah, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole. They don't do these
Or
side
working
shows.
with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on the world's #1 audiobook. Great. Number 3?
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
Number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
he's the one who got me into it.
Right. Yeah. Sure. He's a sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. Mm-hmm. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him though? What? I'd probably say, where do you get that at to fit you? He always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that on, didn't he? So,
Very stylish.
so yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man number 3. I can't wait for
Blimey,
2 and
yeah.
1. Right. Okay. Number
Well, I know
2.
what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. He's got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, there's nowhere to start. Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What do you
I
mean
think it's
he doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip. When he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
out, definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because I mean, you know,
Yeah, he can't use a Y front.
right?
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So he pops his keks down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like...
Well... I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but it didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal. Take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why? I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with two knobs standing there with his pants on and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, say if I'm waiting in a cubicle and he's there.
For what?
Sure, you're waiting in the cubicle and he comes in.
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle. He's taking two urinals up and going, hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
and
have a look at this.
Right.
He's got two knobs.
See, I didn't see him at two urinals. I saw him at one, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say. All right, Carl, I can't wait to go back to your place.
Oh, maybe we should end up sort of like a boyfriend and girlfriend and live together for the rest of our lives. You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort of like...
Yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
If you want to hear more of this kind of intellectual discussion, then download our audios. Anyway, we need to get to number one.
Yeah, number one.
Okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man. What else do you need to know?
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've seen this.
Not fully lit. He'd buy Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
had a
rolls
shave as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he have
Do you
a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus,
it's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just
sorry?
He had no, his head. He looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's odd though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's not. You say it looks cool, to, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah. Remember, he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't really a freak, is it? She could have a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman. Compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, get out! But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit. You're going to get a bit. So... Yeah, he had kids, and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his wife had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
For someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You'd think, forget it. What sort of life is it?
Yeah.
I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. To have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number one position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, how whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh.